Is it on?
Yeah, I think we're back.
I got a notification. Check, check.
Once we start, there's probably going to be like a 15-second delay because the viewers are going to be able to see this if we are streaming right now. Just waiting
Slim
for
Shady,
my phone
you're
to
on.
connect.
Slim Shady, you're on.
Huh?
I don't know. I'm just checking.
Oh.
I don't know if we're on or not. Are we back?
It's not
Mic
playing
check,
on
1,
my...
2. Mic check 1, 2. I think we're back. Back. Testing 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. I think we're back on.
I don't think so.
I see 25 live. Can you guys hear us? I think they're popping back in.
Everything is good on my end. It's just my... Oh, we came back in.
Yeah. Can you guys hear us?
Yeah,
Check,
yeah,
check.
yeah. We're good. We're good. It must have...
Yep. All right, we are back.
Holy smokes, man. What the hell
Holy
just happened?
smokes. That's the first time since we've been doing it that we have just cut off mid whatever that was.
I don't know what happened, folks. I'm sorry. Sorry for any
Sorry about that.
sorry for any struggles. It looks like it's a completely new
show.
post and everything. It just kind of redid itself. I'm not sure how that happened, but
Yeah.
you know,
But all right. Well, hey, hey, things happen. Technology gets the best of us sometimes. Thanks for rocking with us.
live
But yeah,
TV.
that's my piece. I did see something in the comments. Hey, I didn't look at no betting sites when it comes to the Heisman. I just go off what I hear on TV, and I was watching it yesterday, and not one person said anything about Justin Fields. If the betting sites have him, then congratulations to them. I'm going to go bet on that betting site, and hopefully I win me some money because who I'm watching on TV ain't saying nothing about him. I haven't went to any betting sites because usually if you go to a betting site, they take a percentage of it. I want all my money, but that's not what this is about. I want my money. But I haven't went to any betting sites. If they have him, then good. They're right. Because the people I've been watching on TV, the professionals, the experts, they don't say nothing about him being in the top 4. The top 4 is, they say, Jonathan Taylor, Burrow, Hulu, and Jalen Hurts.
You know,
That's all I see.
it's like they don't realize that Justin Fields is on pace to have more touchdowns than Dwayne Haskins last year. Do they not realize that? In the meantime, folks who are listening and in the comments, I appreciate you guys coming back. Go ahead and switch us, share us into your groups, into your favorite Buckeye groups and everything. Normally, we like to do that before the show. Can't do it right now, obviously. Kerry says we're going in and out again, but my reading says that we're okay. So, at least on our software. So that was the issue before. So we'll keep going and see how that see how it rocks and rolls. You know,
we'll go in until we go out.
Live TV, but who knows, man? So yeah, share us into your groups and appreciate that. We need your help. So I'm with you. I'm not as worried about this game as I initially was. Before the season started, all off season, talking about the schedule, talking about all that stuff, we were like, man, something about on the road, Big Ten West opponent that we should beat, that Urban Meyer seems to always have found a way to drop a surprising one. Great big game coach. If you take away the Clemson debacle in the playoffs a few years back, which a lot of that should be attributed to Ed Warner and Tim Beck, mostly Ed Warner. If you take away that, Urban Meyer might be the best big game coach of all time. But for some reason, we always found a way to drop one we shouldn't. And that was the worry going into the season. Oh, God, what are we going to do? Or Northwestern. It's funny, everybody before the season, it was at Nebraska, and at Northwestern were the games that people were really worried about, including myself. Those were my biggest worries. Northwestern's not nearly as good as I thought they would be. Their defense is pretty good. Their defense is really good, I should say. Their offense is so ridiculously bad, it's laughable. And they had former 5-star quarterback Hunter Johnson transfer in from Clemson. Couldn't beat out Trevor Lawrence. I don't blame him. But I thought, wow, they finally got a good quarterback. They might be pretty good this year.
Can I ask you a question?
Hit me.
Is this stat true? Has he started every game this year?
Just about. I believe so, yes.
So his numbers 43 for 89, 367, 1 TD, and 4 interceptions is accurate?
That is correct.
Wow.
He's splitting time. They've had 3 quarterbacks play, but Hunter Johnson's been the starter. They had another guy. They had Trent. You remember Trent Green?
Yeah.
They had his son, because we're old. They had his son switching in, playing as well with Hunter Johnson, and he was playing pretty well, but then he got hurt, and now they got a kid named Aiden Smith, and he's not really doing anything either. Listen to this. I'm not making this stat up. You're going to think I am because of how outrageous it is. Northwestern's quarterbacks, like combined to like their stats and averages, like averaged together, if you will. Their average yards per pass attempt is 4.3. They average 4.3 yards per passing attempt, which is good for, you guessed it, last in the country. I mean, that is just pathetic. As a whole, the quarterbacks have combined to throw 3 touchdowns and 8 picks this year. Yeah. Through 6 games? Are you kidding me? They're so outrageously bad on offense. I thought they would be good, and here we are. Like, I'm just thinking, is Ohio State going to win by 3, 4, 5, or 6 touchdowns on Friday night? Instead of, oh shit, it's a night game on the road in a game we should win. Maybe they've got a kid with cancer in the booth that they're going to talk about. But this time, that won't make a difference. I really don't think it will. And, you know, maybe that's too far. But hey, I'm not worried about it. Like you said, man, I was terrified before the season started about this game. And especially coming off of a bye week, that's great. And the extra day of practice, as one of our listeners said earlier, that'll be nice that we get home a day earlier and have a whole extra day to prepare for Wisconsin. And don't get me wrong, Ryan Day and Ohio State, they've been preparing for Wisconsin over this bye week. There's no doubt about it. That's not their main focus. Northwestern's the main focus, but you can't tell me there's not Wisconsin packages in parts of practice over the last 2 weeks. And I think that's a good thing. There's a reason why we've dominated the Wolverines over the last 15 years. It's because when Jim Tressel came, every single practice has a portion of practice designed to study the Wolverines. Just completely focused on the Wolverines, block everything else out. We're focusing on them for this part of practice. Every day, every single day. Now you can say, hey, this game's, it's just another game. It is a rivalry game, but it's just another game. It's not for us. And that's why we've won 14 out of the last 15. Now, looking ahead at Wisconsin, we have to, I guarantee we've put in stuff for Wisconsin in the past couple weeks. Last 2 weeks for sure. I guarantee it. And I'm still not worried about Northwestern because they're not going to score a touchdown. They're not going to score. I mean, this game very well could be 52-0. I mean, it absolutely could. Now, their defense is pretty good, so it could be more like a 31-6, 31-13 maybe if we're getting real crazy. I don't see any way that this team is hungry. They're disrespected, man. I just think it's going to be a beatdown. Let me know what you think in the comments section. David Campbell says, thing is we have to destroy them, not just win. We need some style points. Apparently style points don't matter in the AP poll, which, you know, some people can say no polls matter until the college football playoff comes out. Well, I disagree to an extent. Clearly, nothing really matters. Like, if we're ranked fourth right now, that doesn't mean we're going to be ranked fourth at the end of the year. But what it does mean is at the end of the year, when they're making their decisions and basing their decisions and what slot to put you in, depending on your schedule and how you fared, if the AP poll is biased and kind of shitty, it makes us look bad at the end of the year. So I do think these rankings matter, at least a little bit. And we have a right to be upset that we dropped from 3 to 4 in the middle of a bye week. I mean, we were tied with Georgia, who lost to an unranked 2-3 South Carolina squad, who's only had one win over an FBS opponent. And they dropped down to like number 9. I saw something funny, Corey, you'd like this. It said, well, that's a quality loss for Georgia because they beat a team who beat SEC powerhouse Georgia. It's like, I don't know how we draw. I mean, and yeah, LSU looks great. They jump up. Clemson's at 3. I'm not impressed with Clemson. We'll see how they do in a nooner against Louisville this weekend. But the disrespect is there. There's just enough to keep the Buckeyes pissed off and hungry for more. And I think we'll see it on Friday night.
Got a couple comments for you. Kerry says Badgers had the number 2 defense in the country and the number 1 running back. Ohio State won 59-0. It can be done again. Amber Keaton Decker says third string is in at the start of the second half. We sweep the floor with Northwestern. That's how I think it goes. And Clyde says, oh, Jake, you sound like the announcer from the basketball game again. Laughing emoji.
For those that weren't with us last week or the week before, I'll tell a quick story. Corey and I and Clyde and my wife Laura went to a basketball game, Ohio State basketball game last year, and the guy on the radio beforehand was like, Ohio State will probably win this by 70. The other team might as well not even show up. And we were like, damn. And then the other team, who was some slack Division II team, opened the game on a 21-4 run, and we were like, damn, see, you shouldn't be talking like that. Well, here I am talking like that. Northwestern has probably the worst offense in the entire country. And Ohio State's defense went from 74th in the country last year, I think, which is disgusting if you actually stop to think about that. But I'm not going to do that. This year, we're in the top 10 in pretty much every statistical category you can find. And for that reason, I don't think Northwestern scores 10 or more points. And I got to think that the Buckeyes are going to. So I feel pretty good about this one. I don't know. That's just me.
I am interested to see because their offensive output each game, 10, 15, 10, 14, 7. That's their offensive output. So I'll be pretty disappointed if they start putting up some points against our defense because that's not good.
I don't know. Maybe there'll be a little bit of a revenge factor of sorts because we beat them in the Big Ten championship game last year, but it wasn't like that they got screwed or they're a rival of ours. Like, there really shouldn't be a revenge factor for them. I understand like wanting to beat us because we beat them last year, but they want to beat us anyway. And we've won something absolutely outrageous. Somebody in the comments, give me the stat because I know it's been plastered all over Ohio State sites, Letterman Row, 11 Warriors, Bucknuts, that stuff. But the streak Ohio State is on since since Northwestern last beat us. I know they beat us in 2004, but before that, it's something like 33 out of 34. It's something absolutely outrageous. And it's going to continue on Friday night. Kind of cool that normally we do this show pretty early in the week, Tuesdays, maybe Wednesdays, and we got a long way to go till game day on Saturday, but we're like 48 hours, 49 hours away from kickoff, and it's a good feeling, man. I don't like playing on Fridays, but the fact that we had a bye week makes me like a little bit more because there's one less day I got to wait, you know what I mean?
Yep. And the game I'm looking at, they played at Wisconsin, the second game of the year, and it was only 24-15.
See, That's very good, and it's funny because I took that bet. I took. It was that wasn't the second game of the year. I thought that was after.
I'm sorry, that wasn't the second game of the year. I'm looking backwards. That was the game before the last game.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't the second game of the year.
I hit a big.
Yeah, that was actually recent.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they lost in Nebraska 13-10, and then they played Wisconsin. It was 24-15. So the last two games, they put up a fight.
I knew that game would be close against Wisconsin because it's always close between those two, even though it shouldn't be because it's ugly as sin. That entire game every year is just gross. But Wisconsin was also coming off of their absolute demolishing of the Wolverines.
Yeah.
So I knew they'd be primed for a little bit of a letdown. Just a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good point. They were feeling themselves.
Yeah. But I do want to say this about Wisconsin. The 15 points they gave up in that game against Northwestern, the most they've given up all year. You want to hear a gross stat, Corey? Wisconsin has played in 6 games. Obviously, they're 6-0. 4 of them have been shutout victories. I mean, that is outrageous. That is mind-boggling. 4 shutouts? I mean, we couldn't shut out Miami of Ohio earlier this year, and we hung 76 on them, 75.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just like, the Badger defense is real, and it'll do. You know, you want people to start talking about Ohio State? If we hang 45 on the Badgers next week, they'll start talking about Ohio State.
I'll go crazy if that happens.
I don't know. This is definitely Wisconsin's best team in the last, probably since they had Ron Dane in the late 90s. It's funny that we're doing a Northwestern pregame show and all we can talk about really is Wisconsin next week. About 15 minutes left in the show here. Brian Hudson says, I'm sick of them not getting respect. Laura agrees. We all are. And I think it is, at this point in the season, it's a good thing. Because, and I think the bye week helped. After we beat Michigan State, what was it, 34-10?
Yep.
That was, while it was only a 24-point win, still covered the spread and still looked dominant. I mean, at halftime, the game was over. There was no doubt about it. And it only took till halftime, including an absolute garbage first quarter by our offense. That's something we haven't necessarily talked about a lot, is how we finally faced adversity in that game against Sparty. We got the ball twice inside the 30, thanks to turnovers by Michigan State, and only 3 points to show for it. We couldn't do anything for the first quarter. Finally, we got a big play from Benjamin Victor after he dropped a pass that would have went for a touchdown. He redeems himself for catching the pass, making a sweet move in the open field. How good is Benjamin Victor in the open field, man? Reminds you of the Penn State catch last year where I was like, get out of bounds, you're slow, stop the clock. He ends up scoring.
He was my player of the year.
Yep. And Fields looks at him, man. Fields seems to like him. I was wondering about who, Justin Fields is new to this team. Who's he going to come in? Who's going to be his go-to target? It's been Benjamin Victor a lot. And I'm okay with that because like you and I have said, it's his year. It's like put up or shut up, all right? The talent is there. Can you put it together mentally? And I think in his second year with Brian Hartline, he's making a huge difference. Brian Hartline, man. I tell you what, pay that man whatever he wants. I don't want him to ever leave because at this rate, he's going to get an offensive coordinator job in the very, very near future. And maybe it'll be here at Ohio State. Maybe we're so good that Kevin Wilson and Mike Yursich move on and we can make Brian Hartline the OC here. But that man has to stay. Pay him whatever he wants because all of a sudden, when he took over, our receiver, and I don't know, maybe we had this debate. Maybe it's Dwayne Haskins versus JT Barrett. Maybe you got a quarterback that can put the ball wherever he wants to at any time. Maybe that's the difference. I don't think that's the main difference, though. Brian Hartline has been fantastic. And these kids listen to a guy who was elite in the NFL. Maybe not elite, but he had back-to-back seasons of 100 or 1,000 yards. Played in the NFL for 7 or 8 years. I mean, pretty damn good, I'd say.
You're going to listen to somebody who proved they can do it. You're going to. Like, me and you walked up in there, hey, this is what you going to do. Do this dig route. Man, who are you? But somebody who proved they can do it, played at Ohio State at a high level, went to the NFL at a high level. Hey, man, whatever you say, I'm going to go ahead and do it because you proved you can do it. And you can tell the improvement he has made with these receivers. Now, Fields, I thought at the beginning of the year that Olave was his number one target to me. That's how it started off. But now it's looking like Victor, at least right now. But, man, I think it's whoever's open he's going to get it to. And I told you, Victor just wants the ball. He just does. And when he doesn't get it, he just has an attitude about himself. I like it. Just do something with it. Don't drop the ball. You can't do that. But I like Victor's attitude. He likes to make plays. And every time he gets the ball, he wants to score. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hell no. And you know what's funny? Our receiver room is so deep right now. And it's going to be tough next year because we're losing Ben Victor, Austin Mack, and KJ Hill. That's in 2 years, we are losing Paris Campbell, Terry McLaurin, Johnny Dixon, KJ Hill, Austin Mack, Ben Victor. In 2 years, that's 6 receivers, and they're all going to be on NFL rosters. Whether they're picked highly or not, they're going to be on NFL rosters. And we're so deep, we've got guys like Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson. I mean,
woo.
Next year, we've got 4 receivers coming in next year as true freshmen who are all in the top 100 nationally at any position. Julian Fleming, you're not going to believe this, Corey. ESPN just ranked one of our receiver commits, Julian Fleming, the number 1 player in the entire country at any position.
God. You know what? keep it clean. God.
You need a towel, Corey? Damn. Man. I tell you, the future is bright at Ohio State, as Urban Meyer said 5 years ago. But there's no doubt about it, especially Brian Hartline recruiting these wide receivers. But Chris Olave, back to my original point, is he didn't have one catch against Michigan State. And we breezed through it with ease. Breezed with ease, man. I tell you. Chris Olave, I'm thinking he's going to make a couple big plays on Friday night because he's too good almost not to. It's surprising when your receiving core is that deep and maybe your best, most talented receiver. Chris Olave is a superstar, dude. He reminds me a lot of Terry McLaurin because he does all the little things too. He's on special teams. He's a gunner. He's always downing the punts. Last year when Terry McLaurin and Drew Chrisman were like the best duo, if we ever had to punt, Chrisman was putting it inside the 20, most of the times inside the 10, and there was Terry McLaurin to down it. That's Chris Olave this year. And Jeff Okudah. He was there last year too. But, man, when a guy like Chris Olave can be held out of the box score and we still win comfortably in dominant fashion by 24 against a ranked Big Ten opponent in Michigan State. I'm lost for words, clearly. I tell you what, we got a lot of talent.
Yeah, we got a lot of comments coming in. Scott Ewing, Carrie, David, Travis. Carrie brings up an interesting point. She says, Dave rarely utilizes half the field reads, asking his quarterbacks to work through as many as 5 routes across the width of the entire field. The third read, he doesn't reset his feet, and he's supposed to. That's why he holds on to the ball too long. Talking about our guy, Justin Fields.
How about that film analysis?
Right.
You said Carrie said that?
Yeah, that was Carrie.
I'm not surprised. She knows what she's talking about.
Me neither.
All right, we got 10 minutes left. Let's get into some score predictions, some bold predictions in the comments. Give us your players of the game and your score predictions for Ohio State at Northwestern, Friday night, 8:30. As I say that, as you get those comments in, appreciate everybody in here. Scott, Carey, Tommy Johnson, Alejandro. Brian Schwelling says, Michigan still sucks. Appreciate that. Yes, they do. Kerry agrees. JD McGinnis says, if we beat Wisconsin, we jump to number 1. We'll see about that. I mean,
we'll go up one spot.
They'll probably drop us. Who's Ohio State? Well, Wisconsin hasn't played anybody, so Ohio State by factor really hasn't either.
And they were at home, so they should have won. So technically they stay where they're at. They don't drop and they don't go up. And it was a noon game, so they could see the field clearly with the sun out. So they don't go anywhere. I'm like, what? Okay.
Want to give a shout out to my guy Kendrick Abel here. Says, here's the thing. All of our games, we got to go out and punch them in the mouth, not take our foot off the throats. Great point. And I think, to Ryan Day's credit, that's kind of his style. We'll be up 4 touchdowns in a game, and it's 4th and 3 from the 30, and we're going for it. Screw a field goal. We're going for it. Put the foot on the mouth. I love it. JD McGinnis, Marvin Arts says he thinks Wisconsin will be the lowest scoring game of the season. That's definitely possible. David Campbell, Scott Ewing, Kerry Lynn, Travis Platt, Jimmy Wolford, Amber Decker. Appreciate all of you guys in here. Let's get some score predictions, bold predictions going. This is a game where we might show a little rust. Do you think, Corey, that we show any rust coming out off of a bye week and on a kind of a weird situation on a Friday night?
If we show rust, I think it won't be early because everything will be scripted. It will be in adjusting to anything that needs to be adjusted to. And I don't think you'll see anything too tricky. Because it's Northwestern. No disrespect to Northwestern. But like you said, Jake, they got stuff in for Wisconsin. I think they'll save it for Wisconsin. I don't think they'll have to pull out anything for Northwestern. I don't think you'll see anything too tricky to beat Northwestern. So if anything's rust, it will be after the scripted plays are done. If you see anything rusty, I don't see anything that needs to be tricky when it comes to Northwestern. So if you're looking for that, don't hold your breath. That will be for Wisconsin. You don't want any film that will need to be used that Wisconsin can look at. So anything tricky, anything that you've never seen before, you will not see tonight. Any formations you haven't seen, you won't, not tonight, Friday, you won't see Friday. So I think it will be very, I won't say basic, but stuff we've already seen, nothing new, nothing out of the ordinary, because you won't need it. Our talent alone will be enough. Run J.K. Dobbins, run them some more, throw the ball with Fields. It's pretty darn simple.
And I'm sure you remember this, Corey, as do all of our listeners, when Ohio State went up 28-0 in the blink of an eye against Florida Atlantic in week 1. And then all of a sudden we looked bad. Like, what the hell happened?
Mm-hmm.
Expect that sort of situation on Friday night. We'll probably come out and execute. But for the majority of the game, I don't think it's going to be in question, the outcome. So we're going to be bland as bland can get. We're going to get some Raisin Bran, hold the raisins. And we're just going to, run the clock out, basically. Fields will probably look good. He'll probably put up some good numbers in the first half. We'll probably pass him a little bit. I'm curious to see how much they play Fields because he should be out by the halfway through the third quarter, something like that. But expect a pretty bland set of play calls. Like you said, Corey, we're not trying to show anything crazy. We don't need to, and we shouldn't need to pull anything out of the hat or any schemes we haven't shown yet. After 6 weeks, we did a lot of self-scouting, a lot of things we can change and tweak, and Ryan Day is a brilliant, brilliant play caller. Mm-hmm. I don't think we see anything new on Friday night. We'll see it against Wisconsin at noon next Saturday.
I agree with. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go. No, I didn't have anything.
Okay. I was gonna say I agree with David. Let Master Teague go off. I
Boom.
do agree with that. Let that man eat. He runs angry. If Northwestern wants to tackle someone, go ahead. Tackle that man. See how that works out for you. Remember the play against Nebraska? It was 2nd and 8, I believe. And Justin Fields ran that direct sweep and nobody seen it coming.
It was third. It was third down.
3rd and 8? Okay.
In the red zone.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. You're not going to see that. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about because nobody's seen that coming. Nobody. And that's what I'm talking about. Usually that would have been 5 wide, QB draw. Everybody sees it coming. No, nobody's seen that coming. That was like the easiest 8 yards you ever seen a quarterback get because Nebraska didn't have that on film. They didn't know what to do.
Dude, I don't know if I've ever seen that play call.
Right.
I needed a towel after that one. For those that don't remember, go back and watch the Nebraska highlights. I don't know why I'm getting them confused tonight. But it was like 3rd and 8 inside the red zone. We had 2 receivers right, 3 receivers to the left, something like that. The 2 outside receivers on the right both run slants to clear out because they had man coverage.
I lost my mind, Jake. I was like, whoa.
We ran a sweep with the quarterback on 3rd and 8. The receivers cleared out their mans. Nobody was there. I was like holding on to stuff. Like I felt like the lady on the Life Alert commercials. I've fallen. I can't get up. I tell you, man. But you're right. We're not going to see that on Friday, and I'm glad. I mean, Ryan Day's done the right thing, and he has so far all year. We have heard this thing. Let me know in the comments what you feel about this thing. I'm going to go a little late just because I want to make this point, and then I'll shout out your comments. We'll give our bold predictions, and we don't have the handcuffs on, and it feels nice. Ryan Day has done this new thing where his approach to the bye week is different than anything I've really ever heard of. He gives the guys, I think he called it the upwards and forwards program or something like that, where literally every single player on the roster, whether you're Justin Fields or the walk-on defensive tackle that I've never heard of, every single player gets a sit-down meeting with their position coach. And the stuff they talk about is predetermined by the staff altogether. And you are given 3 things that you are excelling at, moving upward at, you're doing very good. And then you have 3 things to work on moving forward. It's not hey, I don't know, like 10 years ago, and maybe it's just because of today's kids nowadays, like how things have changed. Because back in the 80s, before that, coaches could be absolute dictators. Bobby Knight couldn't coach nowadays, dude. No chance. Not with that attitude. Now you kind of got to coddle these guys a little bit, just enough, and say, here are 3 things you're doing really well. And they make our team better because of what you're doing, and I appreciate you for that. Moving forward, here are 3 things you need to work on, whether it's on the field, off the field, film study, academics, any of that. And every single kid got that with a 3 up and a 3 forward. And I'm glad that Ryan Day told us about that because that's really cool, I think. Mm-hmm. And B just goes to show you, like, the dude's not missing. Everything he does, Ryan Day just seems to be completely spot on. And that's fantastic, I think. I think that's an outstanding way to address the bye week. Did you hear about that?
No, that's the first time hearing about it. And I think him coaching with Urban Meyer, of course he's seen the great stuff Urban did, obviously, but he's seen where Urban messed up. And he's not doing the things Urban messed up at. And that's helping him as well. Obviously, everybody messes up. I'm not picking on Urban, but I'm just saying he's learning from his mistakes, tweaking it. And, of course, Ryan Day messes up too, but he's doing it differently. And right now, it's working. Of course, he's going to have his little pits in the road and all that. But I'm loving what Ryan Day does. Now, Tressel had the sweater. I don't know what Urban had, but Ryan Day has the hat. Have you guys noticed that? He wears the same hat every single game. I've noticed it, and that's his thing. The black Ohio State hat has a little Nike check. Oh, you got the Ohio State hat, and you wear it every single game. He has his thing. I'm loving what he's doing. Carrie mentioned it in the comments. He adjusts during the game. I'm shouting out Carrie because I remember her saying it. Doesn't wait till halftime to adjust.
Oh, thank God.
Beautiful. Let's not wait till we're getting either our breaks beat in. Now we'll adjust. But even when we're winning, hey, let's adjust to what we're seeing. He's doing perfect thing. And, of course, shout out the coaching staff as well. It's not just him. But it's beautiful. And it's games like this, we'll see how we've changed, because it's these type of games where we were at the edge of our seat. Oh, Lord. Oh, buddy. This could be one of those letdowns. This could be an Iowa. This could be a Purdue. So let's see what happens.
All right, let's get to some commenters' score predictions. Appreciate you guys. A lot of comments about how we're not only DBU, but also DEU for defensive end and wide receiver U as well. I tell you what, and I said this a couple years ago. I've said this on the show. It's fun being in this era with Urban Meyer because he's such a great recruiter. All of the talent that he's going to just put on a conveyor belt into the NFL, and those guys are going to ball out. And Ryan Day, so far, is continuing that trend. You got something?
Carrie said he better not lose that hat, and then Laura BP said we will buy an exact replacement.
Carrie and Laura are vital aspects to the show. Give them their props in the comments section. We certainly appreciate them on an entirely different level. They're fantastic. So getting into some of these guys, David Campbell says 56-3, go Bucks. I'm going to go ahead and assume, Corey, that all of these have Ohio State winning, even if they don't outrightly say it.
Yeah, I want to assume that too.
Is that okay?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Amber Decker, 58-0. Marvin Arts, 38-10. Fields throws for 300 yards, or over 300 yards. Corey Shoemaker, 48-3. Brian Hudson takes mine, 48-6. Laura BP, 46-6. Our guy Alejandro says, good luck to Ohio State on Friday. Carrie says 70-3. Holy smokes. It's possible. It could happen. Don't laugh at that because that is within expectations. Jimmy Walford says, originally 39-9 with Victor, but you guys are making me think I'm lowballing it. How about 46-6? 43-16. Alejandro says, Bubba Schaefer, 45-10. Jeremy Avery says, does the Big Ten put two teams in the playoffs? It's for a conversation next week probably, but I tell you what, if Wisconsin beats Ohio State next week, and then Ohio State beats Wisconsin in the Big Ten title game, and both teams are 12-1, I could see it. Moving on. That might be all of the score predictions. I see J.D. McGinnis, 52-3. I'm way behind on the comments, Carrie. Yeah, 70-3. Ronnie Temple, 52-10. David Diaz says 33-13. Thinks it's going to be a little bit lower scoring, and I can understand that. I mean, Northwestern has a really, really good defense. It's always weird playing at Ryan Field. Always, dude. I sent you that picture today of even Northwestern's football program joking about the length of their grass.
Yep.
I thought that was funny as hell, man.
Yep.
It always seems everybody is slower there.
They're trying everything they can get. I don't blame them, man. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, they say. You ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
I tell you what.
Bill Belichick knows best. Oh, that was wrong.
I think Ohio State will be doing just fine. Score prediction-wise, do you have a score and a bold prediction, Corey?
I'm going to go with my score, 49 Ohio State. Yeah, they're going to pick starters out. I'll give Northwestern 10. Cheap touchdown at the end will make it 10.
49-10.
Yeah, bold prediction, Master Teague.
Damn.
I'm going Master Teague, 125 yards and 1 touchdown. I'm going Master Teague as my bold prediction. I could go J.K. Dobbins, but that's not bold anymore. We're going bold. You got to step out on the limb, put your toe in the water if you can't swim. That's bold if you can't swim. That means I can't swim. I'm telling you that right now. a little nugget about me. I can't swim. Put your toe in the water. Master Teague, 125 and 1 touchdown. Bold prediction.
Man, I tell you what, that's a pretty much fantastic, spot-on prediction. That's exactly what I would say. We didn't talk about this beforehand because we're not professionals, and I was going to say Master Teague as well. I got the Buck. I'm going to say 48-6. 48-6 Buckeyes. I know it seems a little high, anything can go wrong here, and we're sitting here laughing. We spent half of this show talking about Wisconsin. Ohio State should really be able to do the job. They're not going to be able... Northwestern cannot score. They suck on offense. I mean, seriously, so bad. If you missed it earlier, I said their quarterbacks are averaging 4.3 yards per passing attempt. Every time they go to pass the ball, they're averaging 4 yards. It's the worst. It's literally 130th out of 130 in Division I college football, FBS, whatever FBS stands for, football, bowl, subdivision, something like that. They are so bad. And maybe they score on the backups. That's possible. Maybe they score on the third string. That's probably more likely. 48-6 Buckeyes. And for a bold prediction, how about I go on the defensive side of the ball, and I'm going to go with my guy, Baron Browning. Okay? This is a guy who's proved all year. Now, this sets up kind of like a tough Borland game because they're probably going to try and run the ball because Pat Fitzgerald's just headstrong that way, and he hasn't changed his offense in 10 years since he took over, 15 years, whatever it's been. But my guy, Baron Browning, just continues to put on tape why he needs to be playing over tough Borland in pretty much every scenario unless we're playing a service academy running the option.
Up the middle option.
There you go. Yeah, good point. The fullback dive, triple option, not the dual threat.
Now, if he's still in the comment section, I got to ask our on-the-money bold prediction guy who got you to run around the house, Clive Boyd, do you have a specific bold prediction? Because you had one on the point, on the money. Do you have a pick six in mind, a flea flicker, defensive touchdown out there that we may bet on? Are you feeling one?
While we give Clyde a few minutes to make his comment, David Hemphill says 2 blocked punts for touchdowns. That is bold prediction. Kerry Lynn says backup quarterback, 2 touchdowns. Stephen Michael says bold prediction, Chase Young, 5 sacks.
I'll take that.
I like that too. Brian Hudson says, is that part of the season where you just score at will? Just do it. J.D. McGinnis, good one here. Benjamin Victor, 200 yards. I like that. And Clyde says he's retiring, man. See, Clyde, you can't do that to us, man. Here's why. Because you made a bold prediction every single week until the Damon Arnett thing. And the only reason that Damon Arnett's that story is what it is because I laughed so hard at you saying that I said I would run around the outside of my dad's house if he, intercepted the ball and then somehow took it back for a touchdown. And he did. And I paid up, and I'm lucky I didn't say anything else, honestly, because
I'm glad you didn't.
That's what my dad said, because I was at my dad's house watching the game. And I was like, oh, God, I made a bet in my pregame show that if he had a pick six, I had to run around the house. And he was like, naked? And I was like, no, it's just regular. Thank God. Because I sure as hell wasn't doing that. But now, I know, Clyde, I know to not go against your judgment.
Listen,
but I do want to hear what they say because if it comes true again.
Listen, I'll tell you right now. He's not going to never make a bold prediction because he just says, I know when to take my chips, ask my bro. Listen, real quick story, then we out of here.
Hey, hit it, man. I got nothing to do.
This dude will take his chips and roll. We went to Vegas, right? I go to the blackjack table. I'll put my money losing like a G. I lost. Dang. He goes, sits down, puts down $5. Wins on the first hand. He has a $5 chip, man. He leaves the table. I'm like, dude, you only played once. He's like, that's how they get you, bro. That's how they get you. I ain't giving them no more of my money. Look at you. You just kept losing. Look at me. I played once. I put 5. I left with 10. I'm out. Once he says that, he ain't putting no more. Y'all might as well forget it. Y'all might as well forget it.
That is funny as hell. I can't believe they let you bet $5 at a Vegas table. That's it. That's fantastic, man. And you know, that's a shame. The viewers want it, man. They're commenting. We want your bold prediction. I understand the Peyton Manning approach, man. Retire on top. Okay. I dig it.
He's going out like John Elway. He's going out like...
I just tell you, man. You are so well respected in the bold prediction game. You're doing a disservice to the people. Man, I tell you. And at the blackjack table, I'm like you, Corey. I don't know. I took $100 to the casino for a bachelor party like a year ago. I took $100 to the casino, and the minimum bet at the blackjack table was $20. And I lost 4 straight hands, and it was down to $20 total. And I was like, dude, fuck, excuse me, screw this. I'm out of here. I was just, man, I sat down. I played 4 hands in about 2 minutes, and I got no money left. I should have taken the Clyde boy, right? He wins $5. He says I'm done. Man.
Yeah, man.
How great it is. Before we sign off, a big shout out to producer G. Keeps the show running. We wouldn't be able to do without him.
Yes, sir.
Corey said 49-10. He's got Master T going for 125 and a tutty. I said 48-6. And I said Baron Browning's going to have a big game. That's kind of a lame cop-out. I guess I just didn't finish it. We'll say 3 tackles for loss. And going into Wisconsin, you know, I'm not going to go there. I was going to say that he's going to be the starting middle linebacker going into Wisconsin, but I'm not going to say that because of the offense they run. Tough Borland is a captain. They run the ball like crazy from the I formation. Tough Borland is going to be the starter going into Wisconsin, so I'm not going to say that. But Baron Browning, 3 tackles for loss, big sack. How about a forced fumble? Baron Browning's my guy. 48-6 Buckeyes. Appreciate. Oh, hey, here's a good one. Travis says he's got the Perfect 10 Sports Show on YouTube. Check that out. He says, I'll make a bet with Clyde. If he makes another bold prediction, I'll run around my house too if he's right. That's pretty good, man. He says, Carrie says, this isn't Vegas, Clyde. Just give us one. She says no. Laura BP says, thank you, G. Appreciate G getting us up and running, man, as he does every week. We wouldn't be anywhere without him. And nope. It's pretty obvious, as we like to say every week. There's no doubt about it. But that's all we got. That's all we got for tonight. Appreciate you guys. Looks like the handcuffs are off. We're going to be bringing a lot more stuff. I'm excited. No highlight videos. Nothing to really call it close. We're not going to do anything like this anymore. But we'll do our shows like we do. Maybe post a couple pictures, a couple news articles.
Shout out to the supporters. Shout out to y'all. Real ones. We appreciate you. I may do something for my phone just so, you know, just keep it safe as possible.
I will be, I've got a reunion on Friday. I got a high school reunion on Friday, but I will be, I'll be out. I will be out watching the game. Of course, I'll be watching every snap. But I won't be able to bring anything Friday. I might do something Saturday morning as a little recap for the supporters. So you can support the page on Facebook. It's $4.99. We bring in more stuff. Now that our restriction is lifted, we'll really be ramping it up. and you get behind the scenes stuff all the time. So support the page. We appreciate you. Keeps us up and running. And we'll bring you. I'll bring you probably something Saturday morning. Well, you know, Corey, I gotta go to the DMV Saturday morning. My tags are expired.
Hey, just show them that, man. Show them. Hey, you can give them anything you want. They're supporters. Hey, hey.
Yo, what up at the DMV? I tell you, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. But appreciate everybody who's watched us. Subscribe to us on YouTube, everything Buckeye Nation. Give us that subscription. Yeah, that one's free. Facebook might charge you a little bit, but hey, don't go to Wendy's one time next month, or I'll give you my Netflix password either way. Appreciate you guys for watching. For producer G, that's Corey Boyd. Next to me, I'm Jake Smith signing off, saying go Bucks and OH.
I-O.
Beat Northwestern. We'll see you later, folks. And I'm just cutting it.
Peace.